Hello and welcome to Jennifer Natters. I'm Jennifer and this is my knitting and nattering video podcast where I blather on about all the stuff I've been up to in the last wee while. This is our ginger kitty Oliver. He was meowing at the door, so I let him in and he leaned against my leg, so I picked him up. We can have a bit of a cuddle. Today is January 12th. I have uploaded the last video from in December, but I haven't made it live yet. I still need to write the descriptions out and stuff. Yeah, Happy New Year. That's kind of all I have right now. I need to find my place. It has been really cold here. I live in northern Scotland. Hi, my name's Jennifer. I live in northern Scotland with my husband, 2 kids, 3 cats, a fish, and a hamster in descending order of height. This would be one of the larger of the 3 cats. And we have had a really snowy New Year so far. My youngest went back to school on whatever the Monday was that Monday the 6th? And that was also kind of the day it started snowing. We'd had a few flakes the week before the first part of the New Year, and it was just really cold, so they didn't go anywhere, and then they frosted over, and then they frosted over some more, and then they frosted over some more, so it was already white out there. But then we got several days of snow and it hasn't been above freezing, I don't think, in over a week. Today, I believe it is currently 0 outside. Yesterday had a high of -6. This is Celsius. And today it's supposed to warm up to 6, and then tomorrow it's supposed to be 12. So all of this will be gone. And I wanted to get a video. I don't know what kind of bird that was. It's not even over there. It was on the other side. Yeah, I wanted to get a video with the snow before the snow is all gone. It's already not as pretty as it had been because, like, you can see the trees there. They're looking all just brown and blah again, but they were, every branch was covered in snow and it just stayed for the longest time. It was so pretty. I apologize if you can hear some humming in the background. I don't know if my neighbors are pressure washing their driveway again, which they do just about every week, or if they're just like trying to warm up the engine of the car so they can drive it. They're just not stopping. Anyway, I mostly, as Jude of formerly of Stranded Dye Works would say, this is a knitting podcast, not a weather podcast. I have been a wee bit productive since last I spoke to you. My notebook's right there. Okay, I might need my hands. You have to sit next to me. Why do we even with cats? It is apparently bright enough out here that my glasses are gonna be sunglasses. Let me just check real quick. This would have been good to do before. What did I talk about last time? Since we spoke last time, I have finished a few things. I finished the Mistletoe Socks by Annie Knits. I'm probably showing you where the color changes. No, the color changes on this side. The color change is on the inside of the foot. I cast these on for myself in Yarnsmiths Merino sock 4-ply, which is the Wool Warehouse new one. And I went for a nice loose color work, but on the first one I knit, I think it was the second band of snowflakes, wound up being just a bit too tight. And unfortunately I tried them on where my 11-year-old, who will probably be 12 before my next podcast, before I tried them on where my 11-year-old could see, and our usual deal is, Oliver's leaving. He's probably going to open the door and then I'll have to get up and close it. I tried these on where my 11-year-old could see me, and our standard deal is if I knit socks and they're too big for me, they go to the husband, and if they're too small for me, my oldest child wants them now. So rather than being able to rip back, like I'm pretty sure I was trying them on like here, just rip back a little bit, make it so it doesn't pull as much, and knit them for me, I had to knit them for her. I don't think she's worn them, and I don't think they're gonna fit her next Christmas. So if she's not wearing them because they're too Christmassy, then next year I'm going to probably have to rip out the foot and reknit it. I did do extra decreases in the foot to bring it down to the next sock size, and then I did a shorter foot than I would get because her foot's still a little shorter than mine. So yeah, I guess I'll hang on to that red and not use it for anything else in case I need it to make those socks wearable next year. Yep, so that's one thing I finished. And then yarn tags. I had been working on, this is a MissMarple scarf, which I saw on, I think it was Down the Forest Paths, did a roundup of like suggested gift patterns, and one of the ones she mentioned was this, and I thought I need an enormous red bow to wear as a scarf. And I had, this is Deep Stash. My mother gave it to me, I think around the time we moved into the new house, because I remember we were living here and I was thinking about using it to make a little bolero for my oldest, who's gonna be 12, back around the time she would have been like size 2 to 3 years old. She might have given it to me when we lived at the old house, and then that's like I figured out what I was going to do with it, but then she wasn't really interested in the idea, so I didn't. So I just had these 2 skeins of Berroco Ultra Alpaca, and it's listed as something you can get. Berroco is not really a big brand here in the UK, although someone said you can get it from Love Knitting. But I think for a while this might have been discontinued, and maybe they brought it back, because I remember at the time I looked and I couldn't get any more to increase my my options. My mother would have picked it up at the D-stash table in the back of her craft club's craft room, just in her local community. So I put 1 skein into the MissMarple scarf, and then this is a 2x2 hat. I didn't write down the designers for either of these, so hopefully I've either put it there or I will link it down below. Probably both if I'm having a good editing day. They're lovely. I like them a lot. They are, they're a really good red on me, but it's the wrong shade of red to wear with my Christmas jumpers, any of them. And they don't go with any of my coats either, like just my raincoat or my heavier winter coats. They're all in pinky purples, dark purples, pinks, pinky purple. I mean, my outerwear doesn't look good with red. But one of the cousins got a new coat for Christmas, well, for their winter holiday. And it's navy, like a dark blue with red. So I'm hoping that they will like this. One of the reasons I needed to record this video is so I could do it before I get them wrapped up and gifted to them. I don't want to put it on the sofa because it's all covered in cat hair. And then I cast on another deep stash project, which is one of my friends gave me, I didn't write down the year, but one of my friends gave me 2 skeins of Debbie Bliss pure cashmere, and that's an Aran weight in this red. So I knit up a Stratus headband, which is one of these like turban designed ones. This is just the softest yarn ever. This red is slightly less one of my colors, but it also works well as like a cowl, I think. You can see it's a bit warm toned. I do better in cool tones. It is so soft, oh my goodness. So I knit this up, and this will also be a gift for my best friend because I think she will like it very much. Oh, this is so soft. I know with this one this one's also this one is discontinued, and I can't remember if it was discontinued but like still available. It had just been discontinued. Some places still had it, but I remember looking it up. They're 25-gram balls, 45 meters per ball. Is it meters? Is it yards? 45 yards per ball, so slightly less than that in meters. And it was pretty expensive, which is what you'd expect from cashmere. So yeah, this is just absolutely lovely and has been waiting a really long time to know what it was going to be. So that is that one to be a gift. And I think that's everything I've finished. I do have a half-finished object. And this is a Stormseeker sock by Kelly Menzies of Roro and Cade. And this is in, the color is Toddy. It's a sock blend from Abstract Cat. And I bought 2 skeins of 2 different colors. The other one's pink that I knit into socks for myself a number of years ago. And then this yellow, this golden rod was for my husband. And one of them was a merino sock and one of them was just a regular wool blend sock. I think this is the wool blend sock, but off the top of my head, I don't remember. I bought this from the Yarn Cake in Glasgow in 2012. 12 years ago. I know it's 2025, it would have been like over the summer or October or something. 12 and a half years to finally get around to knitting this up. And I'm actually almost done with the second one as well. I have just done the last row before my next row is the start of the toe decreases. And this is the first pair of socks. These stitch markers are also both from Kelly Menzies' Etsy shop. That one's supposed to look like Ginger Kitty. I got one stitch marker for each of our cats. Kelly is doing I think it's a full year of socks. The Cozy Toes knit along, where each month she'll pick one of her sock patterns, I think it was a 50% discount on this one, buy the pattern, knit the socks, post it on Instagram, have a chance to win. And I just thought this was a good pattern for this color of yarn that I've had in my deep stash and have been wanting to use. If you've noticed a theme that the last 3.5 projects I've shown you have all been deep stash, that is because I'm trying to use some of my deep stash. I've been doing the thing where you find a pattern you want to knit and then you go, oh, do I have anything in stash? No. Okay, I need different yarn, different yarn to knit the thing. This year I want to do it the other way around. I want to pick some yarn in my stash and find something and let it be used. And if it's gift yarn, so much the better, because then it goes and lives somewhere else. Whereas like if I take a sweater quantity of yarn out of my cupboard and I knit a sweater, then I put the sweater back in my cupboard. I haven't really gotten rid of stash. I've just moved it, which is fine, because moving it from a ball to an object is what's supposed to happen with them. But yeah, I did a size 72 for this, so they are for my husband. I'm surprised how well they fit. I mean, they're not fully stretched, but they fit the sock blocker really well, because this one is more of a my size sock blocker. So yeah, that's the Kelly Menzies sock pattern. That one I will talk about my 9. I didn't bring my last 9. It's not really 9, it's the bingo board from last year, to show that I did not do the best. I didn't do the best on my last bingo board. I'm sorry, I'm just really discombobulated, and the humming from next door, there was the sound of car doors like opening and closing, and I thought they were gonna leave, but it's still, whatever it is still humming. Maybe they're trying to use their leaf blower to blow all the snow away. Who knows? Anyway, it's kind of distracting me and making it hard to bring. I am, as always, drinking just Earl Grey, my default yarn. Oh, I guess everything else from here on out is acquisitions, including my whip. So I will move into acquisitions. And I have a big bag. Let's start with the Christmas stuff. I have a little notion pouch with robins, and it has a clippy. In my last podcast, I mentioned that I was doing a stitch marker, a stitch marker advent calendar. And on day 25, I got this little Santa and the mini kilt clip to hold them together. I don't remember which ones you haven't seen, but I now have 25 of these, 24, because one of them is on a project that I forgot to grab and bring in here, which is a pair of magic heel socks for my youngest. And I knit the first one and I had her try them on, and she said that it fit. So I did the toe, because it's a magic heel. You don't have to get the length perfect on that one. That's how the magic heel works. And then when I was 2/3 the way through the second one, she wanted to try on the first one again. And then she was like, oh, it doesn't fit, it's too small. Which is the second pair of socks this year that I haven't finished for her, well, last year, that I haven't finished for her, because I knit the first one and she said yay, and then I was in the middle of the second one and she went, actually no, it's too small. So not thrilled about that one, but it does have one of the stitch markers, one of the Christmas ones, because I last worked on it before Christmas. So my advent calendar of stitch markers. Oh, I'm going to put you back in the, I will dump out all the stuff from the robin bag, and then I can put it back as I go. I watch Sharon of the Knitting Project podcast, formerly SCR1TNO Knitting Project, and she's friends with Jules of So Sweet Violet. I watched her podcast for a while and then I stopped. She seems very nice. She just has a very calm presence. And I think this was before I started. If I'm watching a podcast and they're too slow, I play it at 1.25 and sometimes even 1.5 just to kind of get there faster. And then other podcasters are like, people complain sometimes I talk too fast, so I'm trying to talk slower. I'm like, just tell them to play it slower. They can play it slower. Your speed is fine. Go with your speed. Anyway, Jules of the So Sweet Violet shop, she's closing her shop. I guess she and her daughter ran that together, and she's clearing out what she had. So I got some of these sock stitch markers, which I know she originally made for the Rainbow Year of Socks that I was like, I'll do that, and then I didn't. But I did at the same time Sharon was doing a year of stripy socks, self-striping socks. And I did do a lot of those, and then I didn't knit very many socks after that because I had done so many, and I felt like all I did every month was try to get the socks out. I also got some little rings to put stitch markers on to clip onto bags, but I forgot to bring those. And then I got 2 sets of mystery crystal stitch markers, and both of them are pinks and purples and teals and blues. So if I had picked, I probably would have picked these. And Sharon uses those, and I always think they're so pretty. So I decided to get some while I still could. Back to Christmas, I ordered some song bead stitch markers, and her mom, Maggie, is in my virtual knit night group. They're both down in Edinburgh. So there's these neons, and this one is hand beaded. Hopefully that focused. And then I got this set that come with a lot of extra jump rings. And again, that one is hand beaded. And I just think they're so lovely. She also does like earrings and bracelets and stuff, and Maggie has enough of the earrings that they match all of her hand knit jumpers. And anytime she makes a new hand knit jumper, she asks Rebecca, her daughter, to make her another earring, which I think is just so lovely. Such a great idea. Yep, so that's the stitch markers. A lot of stitch markers. I feel like this might be a year of stitch markers. And then I had another advent calendar that I didn't mention back in the last podcast, which is a yarn advent calendar. And I got this as a last minute, when the spares became available in October. My mother came to visit and she gave me £100 for my birthday, which I think might have also been the Christmas before, or it might be for next year or something. It was an extra splurgy birthday one. And I had originally ordered something from a different designer. There was drama. The designer has since done a public statement saying that this last year had been really, really hard for them in a lot of different ways. I eventually wound up getting a refund, and it's fine. I mostly ordered it because I was having a stressful moment, and I wanted, mostly because my mom was visiting, and I always find her visits to be very stressful. So I kind of just wanted the endorphins from ordering, yarn, and I bought yarn from that particular shop because it was in stock, and I picked things that were in stock rather than my most favorite things, and then it turns out they hadn't all been in stock. That's fine. We've moved on. I honestly don't hold a grudge, and I would absolutely buy things from this person at shows or anything else, and I've got things they've made I will happily use. I don't want to cast shade on this person. I think something just went wrong between them and me with this order. Somehow it fell through the cracks in a time when the dyer wasn't able to pick up the pieces efficiently. That's what I think happened. Everyone makes mistakes. It's fine. I'm moving on. But anyway, so I got the money back right before Laura, the lonely knitter of Folk Yarn Studios, who also organizes the East Anglia Yarn Show, listed her spare advent calendars. So I got all of Time and Space. It started over here with day 1. It went through day 24. It is kind of a stepped, I don't know if you can even see every color. It is kind of a stepped fade or a stepped gradient, I guess. Starts over here with the lighter, like seafoam, pastel, bluey kind of colors, goes through darker colors and ends up over here in the pinky purples. I love all of these colors. I love the blue mesh bag it came in. I love every day came with a quote from Doctor Who. It was the All of Time and Space calendar. Always try to be nice, but never fail to be kind. Just lots of different quotes from Doctor Who. So I have these. I have not decided what to do with them yet. Helen of Giddy Yarns got the advent calendar. This is the deluxe sock base. Helen of Giddy Yarns got the same advent calendar and is doing it's the Helen Stewart pattern where you make the square blanket and it's garter ridge, and every so often there's eyelets. I knit one with Helen's yarn. It's a corner to corner garter stitch blanket with eyelets, and I can't remember what it's called. Helen is currently doing one in these colors, so I can watch and see how it knits up and decide if that is exactly what I want. Or Helen Stewart did a new one this year that can either be like a rectangular stole or a more squared off blanket, which sounds nice to me. Or there's the anthology throw, which I can't remember if that was last 2023 or the year before. I think it was 2023, the anthology throw, which is a pie blanket. A pie shawl is a circular one where every time you double the number of rows, you double the number of stitches. So it's pie, the mathematical symbol, not the delicious food source, the delicious food item. So yeah, she did a pie circular blanket 2023, I believe. Doesn't it look so pretty in the bag? Oh, I love those. For right now, those just want to be admired. I do have some plans for other advents that I've had a little longer. I really think advents, I mean, if you want to rush in with your advent and just get it knit up, I can absolutely see that not having it in stash is amazing. I like to think about them for a while and decide what's going to do. And I think I want to do the Scattered Petals cowl with my Woolly Goodness advent, which was just a 5-gram Sparkle Minis that I got in 2021. Anyway, that's what I think I'm gonna do. It is an infinity cowl, and it's a circular fade. It'll bring the colors back together. I think it'll be really cute. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. That might even be a near cast on. And then having knit the MissMarple cowl, MissMarple scarf, and the 2x2 hat, I really like the look of the set. I just didn't want it to be those colors. Those colors had a better purpose in life. So I went to Wool Warehouse and I got one skein of West Yorkshire Spinners Shetland Croft Aran, and this is in Oliberry, which is a lovely magenta-y pink. It's a little dusky. And then I also got one skein, which is 200 grams of Bahramu Coast, and this is the color Shanty. And to do both of them, it'd be 100 grams for the cowl, 100 grams for the hat. So I could either do them both in this, or I could do one in this and do other things. I don't think they really go the best together, but I don't think they're terrible either. I think this one might be a little better with my coat, but on the other hand, this one will stand out a little more. I haven't decided. I get to make decisions. I can embrace the power of and. I can do the scarf and the hat in this one, and then do another hat in this one. Or I could do the scarf and the hat and then have leftovers to make hand coverings or leg. The world is my oyster, and now I have more Aran Wanked pink yarns to knit the things in, because that's what I wanted. I really, really, really want to knit a set for myself in a very lovely pink. Another one that is near to being cast on is, this is Symphony Yarns, which is a Knit Picks subsidiary, like a Knit Picks micro brand. Because they're also Knit Pro, but then they have Knit Picks in the US and they have a yarn shop. This is the Symphony Viva DK, which is 100% merino superwash yarn, and this is the color New York, because I was asked to knit a thing by someone whose colors are blue and orange, but not in an Aran Brew kind of way. So hopefully it's a little thinner than most of the DKs I've knit the pattern in before, but I think it'll work. I may just have to go down a needle size and go up a pattern size. So that was also part of the same yarn order. And then the rest of this is more Yarnsmiths yarn. I got 4 skeins of the Play DK. I mean, one of these is called Swish. I've got the packaging label. One is Dive, one is Swish, and one is Sail. I think this is Swish, the purple. And this is Sail, which is purple and teals. And this is Dive, which is teals. And I got 4 skeins of the mixed and then 2 each of the more solid colors. This is 100% synthetic. What synthetic? 100% acrylic, DK weight, gradient yarn. To knit a blanket for my youngest, whose birthday was yesterday. She turned 8. She had been wanting a room makeover for ages and ages and ages. She had her older sister's old furniture, which was a cabin bed, like a semi-lofted bed, and then a dresser and a bookshelf and a desk that all came with it. And she didn't want to have the cabin bed anymore. So we got her a big calyx unit which I built and needs to be bolted to the wall. And I took the old bed apart. So currently she has a mattress on the floor, which she keeps complaining about. And I need to build the bed frame, which I said I'd do today, but then I had a really grumpy morning. I was not feeling the love today. And hopefully when I'm done with this, I will feel more energized to build a bed. And I need to have the calyx bolted to the wall because I got a 5x5. I figure, you know, go big or go home. If I'm getting her a storage unit, she should basically have wall-to-wall storage unit on the one side. So she has lots of places to put the lots of stuff she has. And she's like me. I'm sure she has ADHD. She will really benefit from being able to see her things and having lots of places to put them. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. We weren't able to order the desk because it wasn't in stock. And she still has the old desk, dresser, and mattress in her room. Oh, there's a little bookcase. She's got the little bookcase. And I've got the bookcase and the dresser pushed up against the calyx unit, which is up against the wall, because I don't want her doing a lot with the calyx unit until it is bolted to the wall. I do not feel that bolting it to the wall is a thing that I can do on my own. I mean, I can probably figure it out, but it'll be several hours of YouTube videos. I'm sure I will go to the shop and buy the things I need and then come home and realize I got the wrong things and have to go back. And I will never really be sure I did a good job. So I've contacted one of her classmates' father, who is a builder, and asked if I could pay for an hour of his time to have him do it. It'll probably take him 5 minutes. I mean, 10 at the most. I will know it is done right. And I will feel safe. Anyway, I haven't heard back from him. His wife did say that he had misplaced his phone. So I will message him again in a little while after a few more days. Well, I'll probably message him today, and then I'll message him one more time, and if I don't hear back, I will assume it's a hint. But yeah, I need to get that bolted to the wall. And so yeah, she's getting a room makeover, and even though I only finished her rainbow blanket last year, her corner to corner crochet blanket that I made for her, I thought it would be fun to do a new crochet blanket. And what she's been saying are her favorite colors, which is purple and teal, specifically like a light purple and a light teal. I ordered this yarn, and then between when I placed order and when it arrived, not after it arrived fortunately, but before it arrived, she announced that actually now she likes blue. But she does still say that purple and teal are her second favorite color. And I started a 6-day superstar blanket, which is part of a 6-day series of crochet blankets for children by someone McKnit. I printed out several pages of the pattern from the website. No, I don't see the thing. Debbie McKnit, maybe? Anyway, there's a 6-day children's blanket, which is just like a straight zigzaggy blanket, a rectangular shaped zigzaggy blanket. And then there's the 6-day star blanket. And then this one is the 6-day superstar blanket, which starts the same as the 6-day star blanket with the 7-pointed star. And then there's a row where you switch it to 14 points, and then that gives it a more round feeling. It's more like a round blanket with a zigzag border rather than the star one, which is very in and out. There's also a supernova one where you do bigger points and then little points. So it's like a multi-sized star. All lovely, all wonderful. The patterns are free on her website. They're supported by YouTube video tutorials. They're not like how to do every stitch tutorials. They're just, she makes the blanket while doing a live and talking to people and answers questions about how like she internalizes the pattern. So you know what you're doing without, like you can read what you're doing to know what you're doing next rather than constantly having to refer back to the pattern. And then you can buy a PDF if you want just a PDF all more neatly put together. I would not have been able to follow the instructions on their own. Like I had to use the tutorial. I am not one who loves video tutorials. I much prefer a photo tutorial, and actually I started with the instructions for just the 6-day star blanket, which only has the video tutorials, and then when I switched to the instructions for the 7 days, the 6-day superstar blanket, from the beginning there were photo tutorials. So I could have just done that. And there was one row in particular, which was one of these single crochet all the way around rows that I had to rip back, I think 6 times, twice because I screwed up doing the single crochets all the way around. Because when you get to the end, you do a couple in one thing, and then I wasn't sure about where to start them. And again, I got it wrong. I redid it. I was still wrong. I redid it the way I thought I should have done it when I redid it the first time. That was correct. And then I got to the end and my stitch count was off, and I realized I'd made a mistake in the last section on the row below. So I ripped it back and then redid that last section in the row below and did it again, and my stitch count was correct. And then when I went to do the next row after that, I realized that I'd made a mistake in one of the sections and I'd made a different mistake in the section after that canceled each other out stitch count wise. So I had to rip it back again. Like this was an all day experience for me. I'm a knitter who crochets a little. I needed a lot of hand holding on this blanket, but that's a problem with me. Like I didn't have the knowledge for this, and now I do. Not a problem with how the pattern was written. It does state very clearly that while this is an easy pattern, it's not a beginner pattern, which I think is an accurate description of it. I know a lot more now than I did before. Anyway, it's the 6-day blanket. I'm not gonna have it done in 6 days, if only because I'm doing the bigger one, but also I have 8 balls of yarn. This was 1 full day and a bit of a morning. So I got the yarn Friday and started working on it right away and spent all day Friday, which got me to like there. And then I did another 3 rows the next day. And I am probably just over halfway through my skein of yarn, and I have 8 skeins of yarn. And you'll think, Jennifer, how big is this gonna be with 8 skeins of yarn? Because it goes round and round, like you can see these cream sections. There are, I think, 4 of them in the ball. So from teal to the cream got me to there, and then teal to the cream only got me from there to there the second time. So more of the yarn will be needed to go around. It's not going to grow as quickly. But I figured I would do the mixed one, and then I will do one of the solid ones, and then I will do the mixed one, and then I will do the other solid one, and that'll be 4 skeins, and then I'll repeat from the top. So yeah, she does advise doing the setup rounds in a solid color that's not going to change randomly. I'm okay with how it looks. It did make it a little harder to kind of follow the pattern and know what row I was on, but I think it looks really pretty. I think it's lovely. I think it's going to be great. And if my youngest doesn't love it 100%, then it can go on the sofa in the lounge or on my bed and be so pretty all the time. So yeah, that's my final acquisition and my final current work in progress. I do have the jumper I'm knitting for my friend. I have decided that I'm going to rip it back and start it again. She has lost some weight since I started working on it, and I was already worried it was too big. So, and that I was going to run out of yarn. I think knitting it a little smaller will still give her an oversized look, some room to gain weight back, which is what bodies do. If that's what her body does, then there's a little room there, and I am less likely to run out of yarn. I just haven't had the moment to sit down and pull it all out yet. It's a hard moment. But yeah, part of it's like I've already knit one full sleeve, and I'm like, can I just keep the sleeve? I can't. I mean, I could cut it off and do it, but that doesn't help my running out of yarn problem. So I do need to pull it all out and reknit that, which is definitely on the list of things to start in January. I've obviously missed this cold snap, but I could still, I mean, there'll be more. Even though it's supposed to warm up, there will be more cold snaps. That is Scotland in winter and even in the spring. Family news. As I mentioned, my youngest turned 8 yesterday. She made her own cake, vanilla with blueberries and blueberry compote, it was a blueberry preserve, but we used it like a compote in the middle of the cake. It was really yummy. Because we've been having her on a lactose-free diet as much as we can, we got a cake mix that didn't have any dairy in it and a tub of ready-made icing that didn't have any dairy. And then we made the cake with the dairy-free instructions, using water and oil instead of milk and butter. And she made it. We did it together yesterday. She did a really good job. We baked them. She decorated them. It looked amazing. She even piped little stars around the edges. She did an 8 in blueberries on the top and then did blueberries all around the side of the cake. It was really good, and it was a delicious cake. So that was good. And we had Christmas. Christmas was not everything you would want it to be. Snow keeps falling and I see it out of the corner of my eye. Next door is still doing whatever they're doing with a generator running. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. Next up is my oldest will turn 12, and then it's my husband's birthday the day after. My oldest got a telescope for her birthday, and on the very few clear nights, she and my husband have been out looking at Jupiter, mostly. They've tried looking at stars, but mostly they've been looking at Jupiter. We're in a suburban environment. We're not someplace dark. We've got trees on almost 3 full sides. It's not an ideal stargazing thing. So there's a little window where you can look at the sky, and that's what they've been looking at. But we've also been doing some stuff on like what's visible in the northern hemisphere in the winter, which constellations and planets and everything can you do, and learning about astronomy and stuff. So that's been nice, if cold. My husband was complaining because it was really warm over Christmas. It was like 12 degrees over Christmas as well. And then he was like, it's finally going to be a clear night and it's going to be -3. And like that was when the temperature dropped, and it stayed dropped since then. But yeah, clear nights, really cold. He's like, this will be a lot nicer in summer. And I'm like, no, it won't. It never gets fully dark in the summer. And he's like, darn it. Why are we doing this living where we are? Like, why living here is not great for this. We're like, no, it's really, really not. But my oldest is very interested in astronomy, so that is an interest we will encourage. I was going to talk about my bingo board and other stuff, but I think this has probably been long enough. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful new year. and if not, I am sending you all the love I have to give. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, verb. Is that a pigeon? No, I don't think it was a pigeon, but it was definitely a bird. I'm just rambling. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.